Hello, my loves. Welcome back. It has been a minute, and I do apologize for that. It's been a doozy of a start to the year. We got through the end of 2025, and we're like, okay, we made it through. I needed a little break up at the top of the year, but I feel like now at this point, my year has started for real. My birthday is at the end of March, so I just had my birthday go past. I feel like spring is getting me in the mood to actually do stuff again, as much as I hate to say it as a die-hard winter appreciator, but we are getting back into the swing of things. I have some fun ideas for videos I want to start doing more of. I really want to get back into doing this. So for anybody who's been sticking around or anybody who's finding me for the first time, welcome in. I wanted to kind of welcome in spring today by going through some of my recent spring favorites from all sorts of different genres. Just a little chatty video talking about some of the things I have been enjoying recently. So this will be a soft-spoken video, include some incidental mouth sounds, probably some light tapping as I show you a few different objects, but for the most part, just a little cozy chatty session with me and you. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, I hope you will get cozy and come relax with me. If not, hopefully I will see you in a future video. But to start us off with, speaking of cup of tea, I do, as I so often do, have a cup of tea next to me as I record. And this one, I fear, is still too hot to drink because I just steeped it. But I love this tea. I have been getting back into Earl Grey's in a big way. Earl Grey is one of my all-time favorite tea mixes. I love a nice black tea, and I love some bergamot. And there have been some snafus in the world of my healthcare recently. Thankfully taken care of. No stress here anymore. We've gotten it all figured out. But that meant that I was not taking some of my medications for a little bit. And one of my typical medications, you are not supposed to have bergamot with it. Fun facts for any fellow ADHD havers. Check your drug interactions. But because of this, for a while, have not been able to have Earl Grey when I am having my on days with my medications. So, all this to say, I have really been enjoying the side benefit of being able to have more Earl Greys than I have in a while. And, bug. Ignore that. And, so I have been enjoying the side benefit of being able to have more Earl Greys recently. And the one I am having today is a lovely citrusy cardamom-y Earl Grey mix that one of my friends custom blended for me, which is so sweet. As a die-hard tea enjoyer, it's, I think, one of the most thoughtful gifts and just so sweet, so heartfelt. The tea is inspired by one of the characters from the tabletop role-playing game that the two of us play together. So it's a sweet, like, double whammy of my interests all in one, and it smells so good. This is even the second steep of it, and I love chai spices, and that hit of cardamom is so good. I love cardamom. I think it's so delicious. So, really diving into those spices. I also have another Earl Grey that I really like. That is, it's from a local tea house, a local Maine tea house. That I will put the name of them in the description because I can't remember it off the top of my head. But they do a custom Earl Grey blend that has extra lavender from a local lavender farm, and so like the extra floral one is also really lovely. I love an Earl Grey. I love the different mixes. Let's see if I can brave a sip without it burning me. Still very hot, but delightful. There we go. So that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. Kind of branch branching off of that, I mentioned my tabletop game, which, if you've heard me yap before, you may have heard me mention it's a Star Trek Adventures tabletop role-playing game. So, like Dungeons and Dragons, that kind of TTRPG, tabletop role-playing game kind of game style, but it's set in the Star Trek universe. And I have been a long time Star Trek fan, been watching for many years. But I dabbled in some of the newer content, but I hadn't been doing a ton of rewatching recently. I usually rewatch the shows periodically, and I hadn't been in a bit. But, and again, one of my friends who was in the game with me has been rewatching some of the shows. Well, it's a first watch for him and a rewatch for me as I've been going through them. Went through the entirety of Deep Space Nine, which was, it's such a good show. It's such a good show. But now we have gotten into Voyager and then also watching Enterprise. And for me, it is a rewatch of Voyager, which, is it the best Star Trek show? No. Is it my favorite Star Trek show? Yes. It's like my campy, silly, goofy little engine that could. I love a Star Trek show that is fun and takes big swings, but also doesn't take itself too seriously. Like, I feel like the core of a Star Trek, what makes good Star Trek to me, is a show that talks about big issues and big topics, but at the same time, they're not afraid to put on silly costumes and do a goofy little bit. Like, they flip-flop between having some of the most heartbreaking monologues you've ever heard, delivered by, the incredible theatrical actors, to being like, oh no, we went to the goofy space planet where we're all being taken over by body snatchers and the ship's being overtaken by tribbles, which are basically pom-poms. My tummy is rumbling, excuse me. But I think that balance of silliness is really integral for me for enjoying the media, and Voyager absolutely nails that for me. Is it always the most high quality production value? No, but I love it. It's my happy place. Also, it's just, I love thinking about Captain Catherine Janeway. She is so special to me. I digress. Also been watching Enterprise. And that is one that I did not watch because I largely watched a lot of my first time going through Star Trek with my parents because they are lifelong sci-fi buffs. And they issued Enterprise. They did not like it. They thought it was terrible. And it has high highs and low lows. I will say that. I am not all the way through it. I'm a couple seasons into it at this point, which is further than I had ever made it in the show. So I'm seeing new stuff now. And there are some really good episodes. There are some real clunkers of episodes. It is a fascinating time capsule of a show, but I am finding newfound appreciation for it. For anyone who this is a very niche Venn diagram of people, I think, who will have an understanding of both media franchises, but it was really life-changing for me when I saw somebody compare the Captain in Enterprise, Captain Archer, played by Scott Bakula, also of Quantum Leap fame, compare him and his very emotive eyebrows to Bear in the Big Blue House, the 1990s, I think, early 2000s maybe, children's TV show with a giant, like, Muppet Man in a huge bear suit. Exact same, like, small dark eyes, huge bushy eyebrows, very emotive. Cracks me up now anytime I see him. Also, huge appreciation for the character of T'Pol. It's a tough world out there, playing a very, very sexualized female character on a show in the early 2000s, but she adds a lot of nuance to the character in a beautiful way, and I appreciate it. Talking about space, though, also makes me think about, I have been eating up all of the news about the Artemis 2 space launch, the trip going around the moon. I somehow missed almost the entire lead up to this. I did not, it just was not crossing my radar that the space launch was happening until I accidentally stumbled into a live stream of the launch literally like 10 minutes before the rocket launched, and I have spent the past week just obsessing over it, obsessing over all of it. I love space. I love space exploration. I think it is so beautiful. I think it is so inspiring. I love seeing like humans' love for science and discovery demonstrated in such a beautiful, real, tangible way. And every story I am hearing about the people who were up there, the crew of the 4 people who were up there, they are so thoughtful and they are so lovely. I can't talk about it too much or I will cry from the sheer beauty and inspiringness of it all. I find it very, very touching, but I love waking up every day to beautiful new photos of space and the moon and Earth from space. I think it is just a gorgeous, unifying kind of experience for people from all over to be able to watch this monumental thing happen together. And like, not to get too deep in a cozy video, but at a time with like a lot of contention and a lot of conversations and a lot of different forums online and around the world, it's just lovely to have something that feels so like pure and good and hopeful, and to see scientific research happen. Like, I am somebody that I come from a very scientific background, and I love and appreciate that kind of work so much, and seeing it valued by so many people is so beautiful, so beautiful. And moreover, seeing the way it is inspiring a lot of people here, stunning. The art I've been seeing come out is so beautiful. The conversations that it's been inspiring, it's just so lovely and so heartfelt, and I think is so beautiful. I was watching a video earlier, just came up in I think my Instagram reels or something, of somebody who was similarly saying how obsessed she was with the whole launch and with all the people involved. And she said, "Oh look, even my nails have moons on them. It's inspired by the moon launch." And I didn't nail moons, but I did with my last set do little clouds. You can kind of see. My camera is not going to want to focus right, but I did little blue sky nails with little white clouds on them. So it's not quite night sky, but I feel like I get just a little bit of that starry celestial vibe in there, so I'm counting it as a win for me. Although I do feel like the nails are very springy blue sky, like springtime vibes, which I'm enjoying. Continuing the space theme a little bit into the video game territory, I have been getting back into an old favorite game of mine. Incidentally, I was playing this when the space launch started, and it felt very, very thematic, because I've talked a bit about Star Trek here, but I am also a Star Wars fan of old. I have not kept up with a lot of the newer media, but I grew up on a lot of Star Wars content, and I appreciate a lot of the original pre-Disney acquisition kind of Star Wars content. But my absolute favorite part of Star Wars media is the Knights of the Old Republic video games, which they were some of the first like grown-up games, as I think of it, like, as opposed to playing like Elmo and Grouchland on my Game Boy. But some of the first like grown-up video games I played was Knights of the Old Republic back on the Xbox, and at this point I have them on a whole bunch of different consoles. I of course have them still have the original Xbox discs, which I have ported over to my, new and advanced, really every Xbox console since the original. I have them on my laptop, I think, but probably over a year ago now, I've lost track of the time, I got the first KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, for my Switch, and it turned into such a cozy, like, bedtime kind of game. Was I staying up too late playing it? Absolutely, but it was very enjoyable. And I wanted to go right into KOTOR 2, into the second one, the sequel game, which, she's a flawed game. She went through development hell, she was very rushed. But I love so much about that game. I think it has, the characters infected my brain since day one, and it's hitting me again. I I had hesitated back then on getting the second game for my Switch, specifically because a lot of people say that you have to play the game with the restored content mod, which is a fan-made kind of mod made for the game that is meant to fill in a lot of the gaps that were rushed through in the game development. And the restored content mod and we have a troubled history, because many moons ago, probably like 2016-ish, I would guess, that was the last time I tried to play KOTOR 2. I was playing it on my computer, and I installed, it's the only game I've ever tried to mod on my Mac because I'm scared of doing that. And I installed the restored content mod, and it was glitchy as hell the whole time, and I was like, this is just the experience, I guess this is how it is. And then I reached a point halfway through the game where it added in a portion of the game that was so hard, that was so unoptimized and so difficult, that even by setting my game to the easiest mode, I could not get past that part of the game, so I simply never finished it. So I was like, okay, maybe the right way to play it is on my computer with the restored content mod, and do it right this time, and somehow figure out how to do it better and get it all done the right way. And I had I worked myself so much up so much about trying to make a decision that I just didn't play it for over a year. But this year, I was like, I'm taking the day off. I'm offline for my birthday. I'm gonna get myself a little treat. And you know what I did? I got Knights of the Old Republic 2 for my Switch. Did I get it for a third console? Yes. But I was like, I want to be able to play the game cozy in bed. And do I have any regrets? No. Has it ruined my sleep schedule again? Yes. But, I say that everybody should maintain good sleep hygiene and not look at screens in your bed and get good rest and all that stuff. Do as I say, not as I do, because what I'm doing is playing my Switch in bed. But it has been a really great excuse to pull out my Nintendo Switch again. Ooh, little sneak peek of my OBS wanting an update. You can see reflected off of my computer screen. But I fell off of using my Switch for a hot second. She had not seen the light of day for a while. Oh look, Knights of the Old Republic 2. I had been playing a lot of Stardew months back, and then got distracted by something, was playing other console games, simply was not playing on my Switch for a while. So it had really been a good few months since she had seen the light of day. But oh baby, we're so back. It is a resurgence. I have been every day, every night, I have been playing Knights of the Old Republic 2, and the brain rot is worse than it ever was. It's worse than it ever was. I love the characters in Knights of the Old Republic 2 so much. So much. Like, I remember being obsessed with them back in the day, and they've just become I was going to say the characters have become more written for me, but I think the reality is that as I've matured, I've simply matured like a fine wine into the exact kind of person who loves these characters. It's almost like they influenced me. Go figure. But I really feel like Knights of the Old Republic 2 stands perfectly alongside Dragon Age 2 as one of my problematic favorite games that was a little rushed, a little botched because it was put through development hell, but a game that is so neatly about a group of just absolutely chaotic feral people with intense bisexual energy who have the best of intentions and end up doing everything wrong a lot of the time. And yet it's about found family. It truly is the friends you found along the way. Which is a plot made for me. Plot made for Axis. So I have been very much enjoying it. Very much enjoying it. It also, incidentally, a very good time to go back to my Switch because I have this very springy Switch case on with little flowers on it. Little flowers. And better yet, ooh, look at the back with the little froggies. The little froggies in the meadow. Look how stinking cute that is. Look how absolutely adorable. My Switch dock does have a case that matches this, which I love. I love them so much. They're so cute. I love the froggies. 1, 2, and 3. They are so special to me. I do also have 2 of these little angel froggies as stuffed animals too. I will also link I'll link the store that they come from in my description as well because I love this designer. I have a bunch of her stuff. I think that they're so cute. So cute. But I've yapped a lot about space, a lot about video games. Although I will say, one last video game thing. I mentioned it and I can feel a resurgence of Stardew Valley coming. I go through phases with it where I will play nothing else for like 2 months and then I forget it exists and it disappears again. I'm feeling the itch. I'm feeling the drive. I need to get back into the valley. It's the time for it. It's spring. It's time for things to blossom and grow and I want to be in Stardew Valley. I digress. Speaking of other stereotypical spring things, I regret to say it because it is harrowing, but I have been doing spring cleaning. Don't talk to me about it. I hate cleaning. I find it soul crushing. I am so deeply jealous of the people out there who love cleaning, who love being cleanly, who find it fulfilling and rewarding. Because for me, I clean for an hour and it's like I need to take a long winter's nap. I need to hibernate for the next 3 calendar days because I'm ruined. It is a harrowing experience for me. But I had some house guests coming and I got my ass in gear and I did some spring cleaning and am I done? No, because a lot of that cleaning was moving things in piles to other spots that I still have to deal with. So I've got a lot of things to move and laundry to still fold, but I am being strong. I am being very brave, and I am doing these things. I did a lot of cleaning that I had been putting off for a long time. I am not naturally a very tidy person. I thrive in disorganization. So it is a big move for me to deal with some of my piles. So all this to say, it is an ongoing process and one that is perhaps sparks less joy than some of the other spring favorites on the list, but it is an important thing to do. And if my cleaning energy can give anything to you, a little bit of productivity shared between us, I hope it gives you a little spark to be like, maybe I'll do a little something. Because as much as I hate to admit it, as with many things that I am reluctant about them being good for me, it is relieving when it is done. I will say this. Loath to admit it, but it is true. But I digress into something more fun. Another recent favorite is this perfume. This is Nearly Noon by Define Me. Oh, it's hard for the camera to pick it up because it is silver on white, but I will give you a little closer view there. This is a perfume. Oh. I did not know it was going to slush like this. I like that sound. But I have been working off the tiniest sample tube. I got a sample tube of this perfume so many moons ago, and you can see the tiny droplet that is left at the bottom there. Here, I'll put it in front of my sleeve. You can maybe see better. teeny tiny drop of this perfume because I have been using it so much, but so carefully, guarding it like a precious commodity. It is so cozy. It's a scent that was designed to be inspired by rice pudding, and I love gourmand, and I love something that's kind of like milky and starchy and cozy and especially spicy. In the same way that I love my cardamom tea, I love a spiced perfume. And the notes for this one on the box are fig nectar, cream, cardamom, as discussed, rice pudding, toasted coconut, saffron, vanilla bean, sandalwood, and amberwood. So what that means is that it is the coziest sweet gourmand. Arguably, I think this is more of a stereotypical winter scent, but it is bridging that cozy seasonal gap with me. And honestly, I feel like the real power moving into spring and into summer is one of my other favorite niches of perfume is mango perfumes. I have a couple I really love. I really love. They are some of my favorite scents. I love mango. Both the fruit, the scent, everything. I want it and everything. I want it everywhere. But layering the nice toasted coconut and rice pudding perfume with the mango perfume gets you to that mango sticky rice kind of vibe, and it's so good. It's so good. This one I found pairs especially well with, I happen to have it on my desk because I've been using it, but Dirty Mango by Heretic. This one is a very sweet, very mango-y perfume. Oh, it's so good, but grounded in a little bit more like woody, sandalwoody kind of direction. So it meshes really well with a slightly more like woody, cozy rice pudding scent. That between the two, they blend very nicely. But let me get this one out of the box so you can see the bottle. Hold on. Okay. I never know how loud a box is going to be until I try to open it quietly. There we go. I think it is a very pretty bottle. Very it feels almost like 1960s. Very smooth glass with a little round cap on it. Just a little bit frosty in the glass, which I think is very pretty, and it smells so good. This is one of those perfumes that I put on and I'm just huffing my own wrists throughout the course of the day because they smell so good. There's more. Splooshy sounds. I'll save those because that is not the point of this video, but I do really like the little sloshy sounds. But this one is so yummy. It's so nice. And I got this one as another birthday gift from a sweet friend of mine who knows how carefully I have been rationing my sample. And now I can use it a little more freely with the joyful abundance, let's say. And I very much look forward to smelling delicious throughout the spring months. Her in the box so far to keep things organized, but I'll break her free soon. But speaking of birthday gifts, I have another one that I'm very excited about that I received recently, and this one was one that was a very sweet gift crowdfunded from some of my sweet viewers from my Twitch streams, which I appreciate, and that is a new Kindle. I have been using the same Kindle for at believe, over a decade now. Or just about a decade anyway. And it worked, but it was definitely without a lot of little luxuries. Namely, the fact that this one has a backlight. Revolutionary for me. The fact that I can actually see what's happening on here, stunning. That I can see without needing to turn on extra lights, that I can read this cozy in bed under the covers, huge for me. Because anytime I would talk about my Kindle, I'd be like, oh, I need to use my book light or something for it, people would be like, what? Do they even make Kindles without a backlight? I'm like, they did once upon a time. If you bought the basic edition that has no storage and no backlight, yeah, they did. But now I have one with a backlight, with added storage. The screen works so much faster. It's incredible. This is still like one of the most basic models of the Kindles, but I don't really need a ton for mine. I just want a cozy little thing to read my books on, and I think that's wonderful. And other very exciting upgrade for me is that this one is the prettiest green color. I think they call this one matcha. It's not actually matcha green at all if you're getting good matcha, but it's a very pretty springy green color. I love greens. I think green is so pretty. It's one of my favorite colors. And so I'm very much enjoying this one. One of the other reasons I went for this smaller size is I have very small hands. Like, I have refused to get a new phone for years because I will only buy minis. I will only buy an iPhone if it's one of the mini editions, and they've stopped making them for so long that I have been eking all of the life. I think it's a 12 mini that I've been working from, but I'm like, I can already reach so little of the screen with my thumb, I can't get a bigger one. So similarly with Kindles and with I think some other e-readers, a lot of like the fancier ones are like, ooh, bigger screen. I'm like, I want the tiniest screen possible to hold with my baby hands. And this is nice and petite and very lightweight, which I appreciate. So this is definitely going to help me do some nice cozy reading. I'm excited. I've been in a real mood for mysteries. I used to read a ton of Agatha Christie's back many moons ago, and it's been a long time since I've gotten into them. I've kind of forgotten. I still watch a lot of the old Agatha Christie's. I'll rewatch Miss Marple and Poirot and stuff, but it has been a hot minute since I have really read any of the books, but I'm feeling a yearning for some mystery books, so I think I have to finish one or two books that I'm still in the middle of, and then I think it might be time to crack open a fresh mystery, which I'm very excited for. So thank you once again to my sweet viewers who got me my new Kindle. I'm very excited. Now, I have, as per usual, been talking way longer than I meant to be. Shocker. Me, a yapper, I know. But there are a couple last things I think I'll speed through. It's always funny in these videos because I worry that I won't have enough to talk about. I like jot down a little short list of things I want to chat about, and then I'm like, oh no, am I going to have enough to say? And 4 hours later I'm like, oh no, I prepared too much to say. Anyway, another transition as I take a sip of tea, and we were just talking about my matcha Kindle. One of my other favorite beverages, the Earl Grey, has been my hot tea of choice. But as we reach into the warmer months, I start getting back into iced teas, which, not doing a lot of over the winter. I'll do a little bit. I do relate to the New Englander stereotype of going and getting your iced coffee from Dunkin' in the middle of a blizzard. Like, I'm not drinking coffee, but I am there with you, my brave, strong soldiers. But my iced beverage that I have not had in a while, but it has been making resurgence for me. I used to make them last summer, I think was the first time I started making them. But a matcha sparkler, which I first heard about from Sci Loves Frogs on Instagram, who I love. So cute, so cozy, lovely vibes over there. Does some like cooking content, lifestyle content. I love what she's got going on. Also very cute nails. I digress. But it is basically any kind of matcha mixed with a sparkling water. So super straightforward. I will usually do just my little scoop of matcha, some honey or whatever sweetener I'm using that day, just a little bit of warm water, enough to combine everything. I'll mix it up with my little frother, so mix up the matcha and my sweetener into a little base, and then just pour a can or whatever I have of sparkling water over the top, and whatever flavor sparkling water you have, boom, that's the flavor of your matcha sparkler. I've been doing a lot of grapefruit and a black cherry because those are the flavors I have at home right now. But it's so nice and crisp and refreshing. Put some ice in there, twirl it around with your straw. It's a good straw beverage, so you can keep agitating the matcha powder. But if you have a nice matcha and you want something that feels a little like brighter and more revitalizing, I love a cozy warm cup of tea, but if you want something a little zesty, the matcha sparkler has really been doing it for me. And if you want to get extra fancy with it, throw a couple slices of fruit in there, or like a flavor syrup or something, you can. I usually keep it simple, but delicious, super fast. That is always key for me, where like I love a nice little beveragino, but the prep time, this is my ADHD house with any food and beverage prep, where like I have great ideas of something I want to make. If it's more than 5 minutes for me to make it, the chances of that happening just absolutely plunge. Absolutely drop into the abyss. But all this to say, the matcha sparkler, fast, easy, refreshing, highly recommended. Now, I do want to talk about in the food and food front again, like food and beverage. I have also been getting back into baking a little bit. I love baking stuff, but like I said, not always the best at actually getting into the kitchen and executing those ideas for delicious things. So I have been getting back into baking and cooking, but like fast, easy, high-impact recipes. So like I said, it was my birthday recently. My mother's birthday is also right around mine. And for her cake, it was partially by request. She likes very like classic, simple kind of recipes. She's a real like not too sweet kind of mom. So for her birthday cake this year, I did a cake that I've done a similar cake before, but it had been a while. So I did a blender cake, a whole orange blender cake. It was an orange and olive oil cake. But you literally put all of your ingredients in a blender. You just take a whole orange, I quartered it to make sure there are no seeds in it, put it in the blender with my wet ingredients, blended the whole thing, mixed in my dry ingredients, put in a loaf pan in the oven, and it's just done in an hour. It was one of the fastest and easiest recipes I have made in so long, and it was delicious. I am the slowest cook in the world. Somehow I make a 5-minute recipe take 40 minutes typically. Like the executives, they are not functioning. Read executive function disorder. But this recipe was so fast. It was so fast. Literally, I think I did all of the prep in like 20 minutes, and that included me finding out my blender was too small to blend the dry ingredients in there, so I got a separate bowl for the dry ingredients. I still managed to make the whole thing and to do the cleanup in like 20 minutes, had that in the toaster oven, not even the full oven because it was in a loaf pan, left to go walk my dog just with the timer on, came back and had a delicious cake ready for me. and it was a genuinely really good cake. I will drop the recipe for that in the description too, because it was a great, just super delicious, moist, fresh, easy cake, and that was delightful. That was delightful. That to me is the perfect kind of recipe where it feels like it's fancy, but is fast, no muss, no fuss. High impact, low effort recipes are chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. And I think it's nice. It's nice for me to like intentionally get back into the kitchen instead of doing my usual food method, which is scrounging through my refrigerator in 5 minutes like a starving raccoon, inevitably 5 minutes before I have an event to go to and I've put all the eating part off. Like, I'll always snack, it just won't be very orderly. What usually happens is that I have an event at 2 p.m. and I'm like, oh, I'll wake up in time for breakfast. I wake up at 1:50, brush my teeth, run and just grab 5 random objects from my kitchen and hope that that makes what I call like raccoon charcuterie. But this is an extended aside. Make a nice recipe. That's my plug. Make a nice recipe, a nice, easy recipe for yourself. Treat yourself. And my final thing that I want to talk about while we're doing cozy discussions and I'm making a nice cozy bedtime video for you, I would love to talk about my current bedtime cozy content. Because I of course listen to ASMR videos. That's what I'll usually do when I'm like falling asleep. But I also have a separate genre of relaxing videos that I will watch as I am getting ready for bed. This is the kind of thing like I'll put on while I'm doing my skincare or something, while I'm cozy in bed, getting my bedtime prep on, but not actually like falling asleep yet. So nice relaxing videos, and I have a few genres that I'll cycle through. Sometimes new ones get added in, but the ones I've really been enjoying recently, making wax seals. So just very quiet, often no words, just the sounds of the wax seals, of the beautiful wax seals being made. There's, I believe it's a Korean channel called Melts, I will also link it in the description, that does the most beautiful wax seals. 8 million different kinds of stamps, so many colors, so many kinds of wax. I love them. It is so soothing to watch. It's like little tiny perfect little art pieces being made. It's so beautiful, it's so delightful, it's so relaxing, and she's so funny, and she there's no spoken word, it's just a soft, gentle audio, and she subtitles the whole thing in Korean and then provides English translations. And she's so funny and she's so quippy, and I sit there and I'm just blissed out in bed. I'm like, ooh, under my blankies, watching the little wax seals get made. I'm like, oh, that's the good stuff, and I have a little giggle about how funny she is. Huge fan of her work. Huge fan. Shout out Melts. I love what you do. And then my kind of vein of content that I'm starting to get back into, I had fallen off for a while. Like I said, I go through cycles where I'll watch like one kind of video for a while and then switch over. I feel like I'm transitioning back into aquascaping videos. I used to watch them all the time. There are a few different creators. I watch the Cinescaper, who I will link below, is another one of my all-time favorites. Make some beautiful tanks, but basically taking a fish tank, or any kind of aquatic tank. You can just put plants in there, but putting a substrate in there, putting a bunch of plants in there, sometimes making the whole thing around as like a sculpture or some sticks or some natural kind of designs, and then often finishing by putting a fish in there. And I've really been noodling on the idea of, I love aquascaping videos, and for a long time I'd been like, mate, what if I got a fish tank? What if I aquascaped? What if I made like a nice little betta fish tank or something? And I kind of put it to the wayside, but the thoughts, the feelings, they're coming back. I'm really contemplating. I've been like window shopping for fish tanks and for fish and stuff. But I think that's going to be my ensuing genre of bedtime cozy video, is getting back into watching some aquascaping videos for inspiration, for cozy bedtime inspiration. I think that's going to be my vibe, my upcoming spring vibe, my trend forecast for my own personal trends, if you will. would love to know. I would love to know what some of your spring favorites are, whether it's your cozy bedtime content, anything else you've got going on that has really been bringing you a little moment of joy here and there as we make it into our springtime, or I suppose whatever time it is when you're watching this video. I have predictably chatted longer than I meant to, but I'm glad I got to spend this time with you. I hope that you enjoyed chatting with me. Please let me know if you like this style of video. And like I said, I have ideas for some more content coming up, but please let me know what you would like to hear. I love hearing from you guys, what you enjoy hearing. And feel free to drop that in the comments. Any suggestions, any requests. If you just want me to do more of the same, that's great for me to know. Any kind of feedback you have, I really appreciate it. And I would really like to make some more content for you guys this year. I find doing this so fun, so cozy, so enjoyable. And I don't do it often because I think, it's the usual YouTube spiel. I'm sure you guys hear it a lot, but please, if you haven't, make sure you do subscribe so you can find me again. It's very helpful. And I know that, I'm a little baby channel, but I really appreciate any engagement I get. It makes me feel like, I'm connecting with you guys and getting to do something nice with all of you. So I so appreciate anyone who's left any comments, who's watched any of my videos, and taking the time to spend some time with me, sharing in something that I love doing. Anyway, it's lovely to be back. Thank you so much for spending the time with me, for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a cozy rest of your day or night. If you're getting ready for bed, I hope that you are all snuggled up and ready for sleep. If you are just relaxing, I hope that you are in a cozy, blissful, wonderful mood. Regardless, I hope to see you again next time. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later,